Hello, my friends. How are you today? So, we are going to talk about online courses and learning and how to optimize your time and grow your business. Because we are all running businesses, and the thing we're all lacking is time and eventually energy. So, what we want to talk about today is how we can make that more efficient and get more time and more make it run more smoothly, just like Mark does. So this all ties in really well together. Um, so your business is your knowledge, and your knowledge is your business. It's like however much you want to try and separate it, you can't. You are your business, and your knowledge is your business. So I know that a lot of you, maybe you have some services and maybe you have a lot of different packages and bundles, but all of that ties back into your knowledge. So the big question is, how much of that knowledge can you share in a different format? Um, what processes do you have around your knowledge, and what processes is it that you keep repeating essentially? Do you have the same onboarding process with your clients where you have the same conversations over and over again and you keep telling them the same things? Because, like Mark will tell you, there's a better way to do that. There really is, because we are limited by our time. There only is 24 hours a day, and we still need to sleep and eat, and we have family and friends and everything else going on. So the time that we have for work, we really need to optimize in the best way possible. So I really want to challenge you today and think about how can you work more efficiently around what you're already creating. First of all, I really want you to have multiple products that speak to people on every level. Because like Kevin, for instance, if people call him up and are like, hey, I need help with this, then if you had an online course like we talked about, then you'd be able to be like, here you go, try this, instead of having to go and do it the work yourself. Because if you have to go every single time and do the work one-on-one, there will always be a limit to how many clients you can serve. So do you have some problem that just keeps coming up with every single client you have, or 70% of them? How much of what you do is repetitive? I really want you to think about your business, your everyday life. How much of what you do is super repetitive? How much of that could be put in a different way? Because essentially, your time is your money. And how are you spending that time? So really think about, what processes do you have? Let's start by, you get a new client, your onboarding process. Do you have a lot of information you keep having to repeat? I know, Jeanette, you're working with Arbonne, so I'm guessing there's a lot of product information that you keep repeating. And I know you want to create that relationship with your client, but is there a way where you can do that more efficiently? Because can you somehow create a video and tell them, here, I want you to look at this, and then once we're done, we can call each other, like we can jump on a call, you can ask your questions, we can go through whatever we need to go through. Like, really think about every step of your business. Is there any way where you can stop repeating yourself? My biggest goal is for you to stop repeating yourself, because the more you repeat yourself, first of all, you can spend your time more wisely. But also for me, it's really important that you don't end up burning out, because it's often the boring things that we keep repeating, the things that don't actually matter to us or are growing our business. So the more of that we can put into an online course and say just once with intention, and then hand over that video, that means we have so much more time working on the actual exciting stuff, because then they've been through the basics. And when your clients then come back to you, you can then move on and work on the things that actually got you into this industry and get you excited and will help you grow your business. Because if we keep working one-on-one with clients, there will always be that ceiling of how high we can go and how much we feel like we can charge. So having these extra products, which can be introductory to what you do, so that if people don't actually know you, they're not sure they want to work with you, they're not sure they want to go all in on whatever it is that you're creating, then this is such a great thing to have. Like, for instance, Kevin, I'm going to pick on you again, because I know fruit flies is something everyone struggles with. Everyone in the entire world has at one point had issues with fruit flies. And instead of you every single time having to repeat the same thing again and again, having that in a video and just being able to say to your clients, here you go, so you don't have to spend time with them. Like, that sounds horrible, but you know what I mean. Like, that could be used so much more efficiently and on a task that's way more exciting, because I know you told me about other tasks that sound so much fun and really exciting, whereas I'm sorry, but fruit flies are not that exciting. um, so it really is about figuring out how can you be more efficient about this. I can give you a different example. So one of the people that I talk to, one of my potential clients right now, we're figuring out if he wants to go through this. So he is in insurance. So he does insurance training. So he comes to a company, sits down with the entire team for 2 days and does this training. And then after 2 days, then the team has the training they need. I don't exactly get it, but I don't really need to get it. I just need to help him figure out how he can do that more efficiently. So instead of him showing up 2 days for each team, then we were trying to figure out how he can record as much as possible, make sure that people actually watch the videos, and then he just shows up for half a day. And that half a day can then be the follow-up, the Q&A, where you go through all the exercises, the motions, the making sure that people actually understand this. Because before, then he had 2 entire days, like not just, like the 9 to 5, like 2 entire days, because he also had prep. Then he needs to go there, physically go there, and then run through the same thing again and again and again. Trust me, he was sick and tired of like hearing his own voice at this point, because every single week he's out at a new team talking. And right now he's doing it virtually, which, I mean, again, just record it and say it once. So yeah, he's going to record it and figure out how to create that into a course, and then just show up for half a day. So instead of being able to serve one team in 2 days, he will now be able to serve 4 teams in 2 days. And that is really the whole logic I want you to think about in regards to your business and where you are and what processes you can change and how you can make this more efficient. So what is it that you keep repeating the most? I really want you to look at your day, and throughout the next week, take out a piece of paper, keep that by your computer, and really write down every time you say something more than once to a client or to multiple clients. Then start looking at, what is it that I keep repeating? What is the question I keep getting the most? What is it that is the easiest transformation I can create for my client? What's really easy that you can put in a video that doesn't need a lot of feedback and question and responses? That is always the greatest place to start with your online course, because essentially I would love for everyone to just have multiple online courses, but we all need to start in one place. So start with the thing that is easiest for you to create, the thing that you're most passionate about, but also the thing that people ask you the most. And really look at that in combination with, what processes can you eliminate to make you stop repeating yourself and doing the same thing over and over and over again. I mean, it really is for all of us a matter of working as efficiently as possible and growing your business in a way that is aligned with who you are as well. I mean, we're all here at the Vegan Network meeting because we align with being vegan and with other vegan business owners and the ethics behind that. And I know a lot of us also want to have that time with our family and want to expand our business and have that sense of that. So really figure out, how can you take your business as it is right now? Where do you want it to go? Which steps can you change or eliminate or configure into an online training? And there's so many ways of doing that. You can just have that as the regular onboarding process where you don't actually charge for it, but it still takes away it releases a huge chunk of your time, because you don't have to spend that one-on-one time with them. And that way, essentially, it will increase your income because you'll be able to serve more people. Or it can be a training program where you teach people what it is that you do, where you tell them, hey, so this is what you need to know. These are simple steps to creating great social media posts, or how to eliminate the fruit flies, or how to automate your systems, how to set up Calendly like Mark has. So it's all about creating the different levels of products, because people will be in different places. Not everyone needs to work with you intensely one-on-one. And that's a matter of fact. Like, I'm not trying to be rude and dis anyone's business, but not everyone needs or is ready or committed enough to work with someone one-on-one with what it is that we do. So that's why it's such a great idea to have this entry level product, like a masterclass, which is like, I don't know, 50 pounds, or to have a mini course of like a couple of days or a couple of weeks for a couple of £100. And then you can then have a group coaching course where you go a bit deeper, but it's still not the one-on-one, because a lot of people are scared of the one-on-one. It can get very intense. And if you're not sure you know this person and is this the right person for me, and do I really want to work with that, then having this online training is really, really great. It really just helps you in so many ways to both eliminate what it is you keep repeating, but also in the sense that you make more time so that you can work with more people and you can earn more money, because that's essentially why we're all running businesses. We want to help and serve more people. Um, so spend your time more wisely, automate as much of it as possible, and see where you can have that essential growth. For me, I always want you to think about what is well, first of all, what processes can I eliminate by taking it online? The easiest part is always some part of the onboarding. But then also by creating the first paid product, what is the easiest transformation that I can create for my client? What is the easiest transformation? For Mark, Calendly was super simple and easy to set up. And that's something that all of us need because we're all booking one-on-ones all the time. So what is the easiest transformation you can create for someone? If it's a personal trainer, it can be something like how to squat properly, because that's something that people just Google millions of times a day, because apparently people really struggle with that. So if you create a short thing where you're like, this is 5 steps on how to squat perfectly so you don't injure yourself, that's such a great video and an online course. And I know so many personal trainers are earning a lot of money on just simple videos just like that. Or Kevin could create one around how to get rid of fruit flies. I'm telling you, in the summer, you're going to sell it like hotcakes because everyone has fruit flies. So always start simple. Everything that's new is going to be overwhelming. So the way that you approach it is really essential here. Start where you feel really comfortable with a topic that you're passionate about, but also that can easily help transform someone's life in one way or another. And don't be discouraged by the whole, oh, transform someone's life. No, any way that you can eliminate stress or discomfort from someone's life is incredibly valuable. Um, I think we've all heard Mark say that if you don't have something like Calendly, it's like what, 8.2 emails and correspondences to set up an appointment, to set up one appointment. Like, I mean, if you have an hour one-on-one, but you need 8.2 emails in average to connect that appointment, that's so stressful. That's so many emails, notifications. Then you like are messaging back and forth. Oh, can you do this? Can you do then? No, just set up a system like Calendly. That's going to take so much stress away from your life. And that might just be a small thing. But let's say I really want to squat and I'm working out and I keep doing it wrong and I'm injuring my knee. That is stress in my life. So having a small online course that teaches me how to do that properly and eliminates that pain from my life, that is super valuable to me. That is really going to make a difference. So it really just is about figuring out, how can you optimize all of this? How can you take these steps? And the biggest thing to remember is an online course is an easy solution for your client. An online course shouldn't be this huge life transforming crazy thing. No, people come to an online course because it's the easy solution. They feel connected to you, they can listen to you, and then they can then implement it at their own pace and without feeling like they're being judged or confronted. So the essential part here is to make sure that whatever it is that you're creating needs to be super on point. It needs to help your client with a specific problem that they're coming to you for. So really, I would love it if you took this next week, took some notes, looked at your business processes, and really thought about which part of this can I automate in a different way that includes video training, group coaching, something, so that you can make your work life more smooth, and also just don't burn out, because we all risk burning out. And yeah, we don't want that. We want to grow and support our business. So I really hope you're ready to work more efficiently after listening to this. And you already have some ideas on what you could use and implement and how you can take that next step. For me, it always starts with something like a freebie to get people interested, because the whole point of creating online training is also to get a bigger reach of your potential audience. Because, like I said, not everyone is ready for the big commitment of working one on one with someone. That can both be financially, but it can also be for personal reasons. For instance, a couple of months ago, I was working with a hypnotherapist, and I told my friend, "Oh, yeah, I'm working with this hypnotherapist. I'm really excited to see where that goes." And she was like, "Oh my God, no, I'd be so scared. Like, hypnotherapist, like he can read my thought. I would never want to work one on one with one." And she was so funny. She was like, "Oh no, he can like read my thought. I would never do that." I was like, "Okay, so here's the interesting part. So what if it was an online course and you could work with him like that way?" And she's like, "Oh, I'm intrigued now. Tell me more." So there's like this part of removing judgment when it's an online course, because people are watching you tell them what to do without having to actually say, "Ooh, I really suck at this," or "I need help with this," because people don't want to feel judged. Like, no one likes that. No one wants to admit, "Hey, I'm not good at this. I need help with this." So being able to do that with online training, where you can do it on your own pace, you can learn exactly specifically what it is that you need, and then maybe have some group coaching or a Q&A call or something around that. That is super valuable. So really try and look at how that can tie in together, how that works, and just, yeah, what it is that you can do in your business and how you can make your work life more happy. Basically, that's what I really want. I want you to be happy in your business. I want you to grow your business, and I want you to be doing what's aligned with who you are and what you want to do, and to help and support as many people as possible. There's the monetary aspect, but also you can help so many more people. I'm working with someone who's a breath coach, I think she calls herself, and she has like this vision of helping 100 people learn how to breathe properly. She can basically help you get rid of asthma or something like that, by breathing properly, or at least know how to control your asthma. And for her, she will never be able to reach 1 million people and complete her mission if she keeps working one-on-one with people. So going online and having online trainings is essential for her to reach her target. So I would love to hear your questions, your ideas. Where is this taking you? Yeah, what thoughts do you have around online courses, and which online course are you going to create first?
Brilliant. Thank you, Simone. Right, I'm just going to flick my screen to gallery view. Who has got some questions?
Yeah, I've got one.
I
Yes.
think I saw Catherine's hand go up, and then I think Kevin. So go for Catherine.
Yeah, just so because I work in recruitment, it's a very, very competitive industry, and I know that I have certain ways of working where I win business against my competitors. So how could I kind of secure any content that I put out there from an IP perspective?
Yeah, that's a great question. Obviously, there's a lot of IP loss that you need to make. You need to have the right disclaimer around your products always. You need to make sure that you have this is intellectual property of your company, your name, whatever it is, according to the laws. And it's actually quite simple in that regard, in finding the right quotes from the legal perspective. However, with everything you do, you risk having that intellectual property somehow. I mean, if you write a book, then I buy it, but then I give it to my friend and she borrows it, and then someone else borrows it as well. So you always risk that thing. And then also, you might think, okay, but what I do is special and proprietary. So if my friend does a course on how to squat, like, you'll be able to find millions of videos on YouTube on how to squat. So it really is about creating the right boundaries for yourself and your business, and the right expectation. So you tell your client, this is copyrighted, this is for you. You put a price on it that makes sure that they actually value it, and don't just think like, oh yeah, okay. Actually, pricing is a lot of it as well, people don't value things that are for free, but the more you price it, the more people will value it. So it is about setting the right boundaries, the right tone from the beginning, and always make sure you have your legal stuff in check, so that when on your homepage you have like this disclaimer part, when you sign up for the course, there's a disclaimer saying that, you know, just like you have your cancellation policies and that type of stuff. There's a what is it called? Like, there's a special law around intellectual property. I can send you something on it if you want. If you send me your email in the chat, then I can send you the paragraph, because there's a very specific paragraph that you should have in there. And then obviously you always run the risk with anything you do. I mean, a Zoom meeting could be recorded as well and could be shared. So it really is, I know it's a hot topic, but it's just like with anything else you do. You risk, it's the same risk basically. But yeah, but at least just have yourself covered legally.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Can I just add to that? Because I think everything you said there, Simone, I completely agree with. But I think the other thing, Catherine, with some of this stuff is the power in it is getting people to experience what it's like working with you
Yes.
before they work with you. So even if someone rips off your content and makes another version of it, actually it's you've still got power in it. Even if you're doing something that's completely just run of the mill, it's an opportunity for people to think, actually, is this someone that I kind of get on with? And by the time you speak to them, they're going to feel they know you a little bit more and stuff like that. So it's super helpful for that kind of thing, and just for kind of reassuring people that you know your stuff, and that you're a kind, helpful person, and all those other things that you want them to sort of feel that, and then they go, actually, I feel I want to work with Catherine rather than this person that's ripped this material off. So I think there's an element of that as well. It's a way to just project yourself.
Yeah, no, it's something I never really considered, and I must admit, when I knew last week what you were doing, Simone, I thought that's not really going to work for me. But there probably are.
Well, people keep saying that, but
no, it doesn't.
I think there's loads you could do.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And it really is essential, because when we work with someone, we buy into their energy and who they are as a person. So if, like, I mean, there are millions of personal trainers, and I talk to a bunch of them, and they do the same thing, the exact same thing. And yet I found one specific person who was like, this is the one I want to work with. Same with my SEO. I had talked to people for months and months, and I didn't feel a connection. And then all of a sudden, like early January, I meet someone and I'm like, this is who I want to work with. And everything just aligned. So, I mean, they all know the exact same thing, basically. They do the exact same thing, but it is about the person. So if people don't know you, and even if you just have a course that's like 10 pounds, that course is not there for earning money. That course is there for people to get to know you, to see what you do, who you are, what value you can bring. And if you can change something for the better in their life for just 10 pounds, they'll be like, shit, what can she do for like 100 pounds, 1,000 pounds? Or like, sorry, cursed, I get excited. Yeah, but it really is. Like, I just did a 1-week free training with my friend last week on this coaching thing. And by the end of the week, we're like, oh my God, she gave all this away for free. Imagine what's in her course. Like, oh, yeah. So you kind of like, that's the whole point of having your entry-level courses. That's why you create them. And then you have the big ones, which are then your high ticket, and where you go deeper and actually work with people. But it's having that range from the entry level, like, get to know me, have some small wins, have some bigger wins, and let's work together and really make the big moves. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Brilliant. Right, Kevin, your hand went up.
It did indeed. Just firstly, just backing up what Simone and Mark said there, when I did Mark's course, and I can say it's benefited my business. I've got so much work out of just by doing your course, Mark. And like just before I did this morning, I had a consultation I did because they booked through the Calendly thing that I did for your course. And it is that personal touch, like with Mark's course, it's really good. And like, I know you from these meetings. So with you leading the course, it made it really fun to do. And I got to know you as a professional, you and what you do and your expertise. So that personal touch really does help you when you're doing the course. Mm-hmm. So my question to
use 5 as are in the post, Kevin, thanks.
Uh, nice. My question to Simone is, when you make a course, can you share that on your website directly for people to book directly through there? And how can you make your course stand out amongst others? Because I had a look on some of the sites when I was doing Mark's, and there's lots of courses there. So can you share on your website, and how do you make it stand out?
Yeah, so thank you. Great question. I love this. So there's multiple factors to this. Let's start with the standing out. First of all, make sure it's a good quality in every aspect. So you want to have proper lighting, you want to have proper sound, you want to make sure you're centered in the picture. So if I'm only showing myself and not a PowerPoint, I'm not going to be sitting here. I'm not going to be down here. I'm going to be centered looking at you. And then obviously I'm going to speak to you and not just no, I'm going to be comfortable. I will change my voice according to what I'm saying. If I need to hold your hand, my voice will be comforting. But if it was an accountant, I don't need you to think about what you need to do. You just need to do this. So I'm going to be more like teacher style. So it is about figuring out how do you communicate who you are and what you are. Then make sure the quality is right. Like make sure that you're serving your client with what you're creating. A lot of people get caught up in this, oh, I want to share everything I know. And I love the passion, but you're not serving your client with that. You really are not. They come to an online course for an easy solution. And if you then share all of your knowledge, that would be like a 48-week course. It just keeps going and going and going. And that's not serving anyone. They come to you, for instance, you with a fruit fly problem. I don't want to hear about the rats in my garden. I want to hear about the fruit flies when I'm talking fruit flies. Like, so be specific in what it is that you're helping them with. So that's how you stand out. Then obviously there's all the SEO and the magical stuff behind the scenes, but that's a different topic. And then we have whether you can have it on your homepage. So there's two ways to go. Either you have it on something like Udemy, which is where you got Mark's course,
Yep.
where they host, well, there's different options on Udemy. Either you just put it there and then you link it to your homepage and you get all the revenue, or you share the revenue and they market it for you as well. And then they do basically all the work and you just have to put it in there and share it with your clients as well. And depending on what you're creating, there's different ways to go. I put my big stuff on something like Kajabi. Kajabi is a perfect platform for me. It has everything in one. It's your homepage, it's your product page, your sales page, your payment system, sales funnels, email marketing. It has everything. It's really incredible. It even has like CRM. It takes you through everything you need around an online course business or business in general. I even do my one-on-one sessions. I even have a payment system in Kajabi where I just send them that. So it all ties in together. So if it's a big ticket product, like a group course or something bigger where it costs more money, then I would always host it on my own platform like Kajabi. If it's one of the smaller courses, something a bit like entry level, like your Calendly course with Mark, I would consider doing that in Udemy, and I would consider doing that where we split the profit, where they host it for me and they advertise it for me, but then also I promote it, because the more you promote it and the more people then buy it and give it a good rating, the more they will promote it, and then it all ties in together. And then eventually, if you do really well, people will Google you, be like, oh, I wonder what else he has. And then they come and find your high ticket items. So depends on which product you're creating. I always prefer Kajabi because it's just wonderful. And then you have Udemy for something that's very small, like 30 to 60-minute trainings. If it's more than that, and if it's more than, I don't know, 50, 100 pounds, dollars, something, then Udemy is not your platform. So anything that could just as well has been a big freebie, Udemy, anything that's bigger than that, I would host on my own platform.
Brilliant. Thank you, Simone.
You're so welcome.
Okay, anyone else got some questions? Lena?
Actually, kind of, Simone, you kind of answered my question. I wanted to ask about the length of the course. So I think you did mention like a short one, it would be 30 to 60 minutes. Well, what about like a regular one? Well, like what would you advise?
Oh, so this is a great question because you need different products. Just like if I was a hairdresser, I have shampoo, I have conditioner, I have hair oil, like you have all the different products, and you want to think about having that product range for your online courses as well. You have your freebie, you have a webinar, you have a masterclass, you have a small course. then you have a medium course, and then you have a big high ticket group coaching course, and maybe some VIP stuff or a membership. So there's not really any rule for how long it can and can't be. Just make sure the videos aren't too long because people can't focus. So don't create 3-hour long videos because people will be asleep after half an hour. So cut it up into chunks. But you can do half an hour and have that as a masterclass. You can do an hour and it's a masterclass. You can have 3 days with like 30 minutes or 20-minute videos. You can have 3 weeks where you have like every week you drop new videos, every Monday, for instance. You can have an 8-week program. Like I have my 8-week online course academy, where we throughout 8 weeks go through the entire process of creating an online course. Like how do you find your topic? How do you create the sense of community and accountability? What needs to go in your videos? How do you create them? How do you edit them? Who are you as a speaker and as a teacher? And how does this support your business? So we go through that over the course of 8 weeks with group coaching along the way and videos each week and workbooks and all of that. So it depends on what are you trying to help them transform. The bigger the transformation, the bigger the course. But not everyone is ready for that big transformation. So it is about figuring out how does that tie in. And actually, speaking of, I am launching my vegan only cohort of the Online Course Academy on the 22nd of March. So if anyone wants to join, this is really your cohort to go in. It is vegan business owners only, so that I know we all have the same ethical standpoint. And because there is weekly group coaching, it's one group coaching session a week where we all meet up and help each other with our online courses and the process. And I've noticed that having that commonality just really helps you grow and create the course that aligns with who you are and who your business is, because essentially you are an extension of your business and your business is an extension of you. So it all ties in together really neatly.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think without the group element, it would be a lot harder. I think it's super helpful to have another group of people on the same journey because I mean, when I did it, there were people on there and we were sort of all going like, oh my God, we were planning courses, enormous, great big, it would have been a year-long course, right? And then it suddenly sort of go, no, I need to cut this down. And it generated some really good debates actually with other people, very different businesses than certainly what I have, but you kind of all in the same boat together. So definitely works well in that form. Right, we've got about 5 minutes, so we've probably got time for one more question, if anyone's got one. Oh, Shabari, hand went straight up. I will see if we can get 2 in and get Yelena in as well after.
Mark,
Sorry.
can I just jump in really, really quickly, just because I have to go I've got another meeting at 12, and I just wanted, where we've got some newbies, can I just mention the WhatsApp group and see if anyone, okay, so I'll be really quick. We have 2 WhatsApp groups that we're all connected on. There's one that's just a general business support chat and sort of a bit of a get to know you chat, and then there's another group which is for LinkedIn support. And basically with LinkedIn algorithms, the sooner you get response and engagement on your post, the more it pushes it out to your wider network. So what we do is we put in our posts into this LinkedIn chat, and then whoever's around jumps on to LinkedIn and engages with it to help boost everyone's reach. So if you'd like to be part of those 2 groups, if you could either private message me your number in the chat or put it in the main chat, and I'll pass it to Sam who manages it, and she'll be able to add you onto those groups, and we can stay connected past this. But I just wanted to get that in before, because I've got to go.
Thank you, Kaylee. Yeah, and I have been known to forget occasionally. There's also, anyone that's not in it, there's also a Facebook group that supports this as well. So I don't know, Jane, did you already put it in the chat? I know sometimes you do. Yeah. We can't hear you because you're still muted, but I'll take that as a yes.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you. Okay, right. Okay, let's see if we can squeeze some in. If anyone has to go at 12 sharp, obviously just drop off. But otherwise, let's see if we can squeeze in a quick question from Shabari and a quick question from Yelena, and see how we get on. Go.
Great. Thank you very much, Simone. That was really, really interesting. I'm finding that I'm actually giving a lot of my knowledge away for free. So I've done tons of presentations, you know, in front of various audiences for free. And I've been thinking about actually doing setting up a course, you know, for quite some time now. You mentioned your own platform. Do you mean Kajabi, or do you mean do you just mean Kajabi, or are there other platforms as well that that you can have your courses on?
Yeah, great question. So there are a lot of different platforms. However, I have worked with every single one of them. And Kajabi is the one that's best. It is pricey, but you get your money's worth basically, because it is everything in one. It is your host, it hosts your, sorry. It hosts your courses, it's your email system, it's your payment system, it is your homepage. It really just is everything in one. So even in the time that you save by not needing MailChimp and payment system here and a homepage there and making all of that coordinate, it ends up paying for itself in the time that you save. Obviously, you can just stick with something like Udemy, where they host it for you, and you don't have to do a lot and just advertise it. And then there's the different routes you can go. Either you just host it there and they do nothing and you have to advertise it, or you host it there and they advertise it and you then share the profit. And so there's different ways to go. So if you really just want to get started and do something with not a lot of expenses, then Udemy is a great place to start. However, if you're creating something bigger and something with group coaching and accountability and really your content that's high ticket or charges more than £100, I would consider something like Kajabi. It's like I've been through all the different platforms, both for myself and my clients. And yeah, a lot of them are very stressful and don't necessarily work well, and it doesn't really tie in well together. So Kajabi is really a great platform, and the one that I have chosen to stick with.
Excellent.
Yeah,
Thank you,
thank
Simone.
you.
Right. Oh, all the windows have moved around. Elena, you're still here. Yes, go for it.
So yeah, thanks, Simone, for the presentation. And well, what I wanted to ask you is, like, when you have a product-based business like I have, like, would you create then also an online course? Well, I have a blog actually where I write about, you know, where I educate also about vegan fashion products, why are they good and so on. So yeah, I was thinking, like, why not also creating, you know, a small course about that, so that I don't actually need to repeat myself or so.
Oh, yes. And my answer is yes, please do create. First of all, people like to learn in different ways. Some people like to read, some people like to watch. So you will always like need the different types for the different people. But let me give you 2 examples. So in Denmark, there's a guy, he created a homepage where he sells drones. That's a very like product based. He has this product and that's what he sells. However, most people that buy a drone have never flown a drone before. So they don't actually know how to fly a drone. So he created this super simple course that's called Become a Drone Pilot. And he didn't advertise it. He didn't do anything other than create it as a pop-up that when you bought the drone, you get to the exit, and it says, by the way, do you want to buy this product and learn how to fly your drone? And I think like 80% of first-time buyers ended up buying this, like, I don't know, like £100 course. Because if you're paying 500,000, 2,000 pounds for a drone, you're gonna spend a little bit extra to actually learn how to fly it so you don't crash it in the first try. So all of a sudden, he had this extra income, which he had no expense, because it doesn't actually cost money to create an online course. There's no money involved in, like, well, yes, you might need Kajabi, but creating the course itself, there's no expense to that. So he then all of a sudden had that product that supported the products that he was already selling, because if he teaches you how to fly a drone and then you buy the drone and know how to fly it, eventually you're going to upgrade. And are you going to come back to the guy that taught you how to fly the drone? Or are you going to go back somewhere else? No, you're going to go back to the place you know, the person that taught you how to fly the drone. And the same goes for, I have a friend in the States who does hair jewelry. So we're creating online courses about how do you style your hair using her hair jewelry? Because especially in a time like this, we might be at a Zoom wedding all of a sudden, or me and Mark were at a Zoom birthday on Friday, and I have this gorgeous hair piece, but I have no idea how to use it in my own hair. I mean, my hair is annoyingly long because I'm getting ready to donate it, but I don't know how to style that. So her creating the videos on how to style your hair with her hair jewelry means that people are more likely to actually use her products. And when they're more likely to use the products, they're more likely to come back and buy more from you. So even though you might be selling products, there's still a huge upside to creating content around how to use this in the best way possible. What can you do with it? So never think that there's no way that an online course fits into what you do. It's all about figuring out what part is repetitive and how can you serve your client in a better way.
Thank you.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Good. Okay. Anyone got any last questions or thoughts? We are slightly over time, but it's hardly unprecedented for this meeting. But
can I quickly jump in then, Mark? And apologies, obviously people need to go, but I was just really thank you, Simone. I was really curious to understand to see what your thoughts would be on like an online training course as a freebie, but like almost like a 3-day or a 5-day. And I'm totally with you. So I've got Kajabi, but you know, like I'm not using it right to its fullest potential. I've got the website, but gosh, I know it's got so much potential. So I'm like, could I use that to then help me as a freebie in addition to say a clarity call? So I do a one-on-one clarity call, but also offer a 3-day, 5-day training free.
Exactly. And that's actually exactly one of the, I always tell my clients, you need 3 different freebies: a PDF, a short video, and a 3-day social media challenge, for instance. So always start with doing it a social media challenge, because that way you get the exposure, but then you record the videos, you edit the video and make that a 3-day video sequence that you can then email out as a freebie afterwards. So then it's 2 birds, 1 stone. You have it as a social media challenge to get awareness, and then afterwards you have it as a freebie on your homepage. So that's really wonderful. But I would stick with 3 days, because people get overwhelmed and rarely finish day 4 and 5 if you do the 5-day one. So the 2 and 3-day ones are really great. And then you can do the follow-up email. Hey, by the way, if you enjoyed this, please let me know how you liked it. Did you implement it? What changes did you see? Then a week later, you email them again. Oh, by the way, I actually have this bigger course in case you're interested, and so on and so on. So you create that whole line of like the client funnel of like taking them in, and then you have something more and more and more to serve them.
Cool, thank you. Yeah, thank you. So helpful.
You're so welcome.
Brilliant. Good. Okay, well, I think we probably better wind up because it's 5 past. So thank you very much, Simone, for your talk today. I think lots of interest, really good talk, loads of good content and lots to think about. Lovely to see so many new people. Hopefully